Ехе, всем привет, народ, с вами Херон, и мы продолжаем этот роковой Сабзеруз. Да. В общем, я себе сделал небольшой перерыв в виде часика. Ну, конечно, для вас это будет ни хрена не часик, для вас это будет целый день. Ну так вот, часик передохнул, опять Genshin зашел, и я готов закончить эту часть сюжета. Я прям уверен, если она за час не кончится, это значит, что, сука, самое длинное задание, которое я делал, блядь, в своей жизни. Я даже, блядь, эту, как ее, очищение сакуры то быстрее сделал. Даже, блядь, гайдами не пользуюсь. А ведь они, сука, есть, я уверен.
Really took me a while to find you. As expected, Dia also didn't get hurt. Why would I? Well, you're still getting used to. Huh. Truth be told, I also think it's pretty strange. It just. Traveler, could you explain the situation to her today?
А с камина набила.
I'm sick of doing it. Oh, that works. What happened to you guys while I was gone? Did you get brainwashed? Don't think too hard about it. All right then, let me get this straight. You're telling me that my body... Yes, your memory's being... Then I'd have to disagree. That's impossible. Oh? Why do you think... If we've actually been reliving the Sabzeruz festival day after day, then what happened to the thing? Common sense says my wallet should have emptied itself a long time... Right. They could use the Akasha to record what everyone did that day, and then use the city's... It's not very likely, but it's also not... No, it is impossible. You have proof? You two are surprisingly serious about this nonsense. Come with me, Miss Dunyarzad.
А теперь мне стало интересно уже. Типа ведь реально конфеты, сука, не кончаются.
2 days ago, we were the ones taking her to see Dunyarzad.
Типа, каждый день есть конфеты, каждый день есть сам вот это вот все для праздника. И даже если они все это разбирают, они же потом собирают, верно? Верно. Там, не знаю, если кто-то... Хотя нет, если кто-то сдохнет, они это вряд ли заменят. Вот.
See those marks on the dummy? Those are the results. Let's say the sages didn't replace it every day. Shouldn't it be hacked to pieces by now? That's true, but what if... Then the sages would have had to reproduce every mark I left during previous training set. I'm a professional fighter. My martial school has always emphasized the importance of refined. The force, angle, and entry point of each strike is calculated and deliberate. That's why I remember every mark on the dummy. It's just as they say. Each swordsman has their own unique style. And even the same swordsman can't... Is it really impossible? What if they use some fancy... People often say that a camera's photo can never replace an artist's painting because the former... The same thing applies here. At a mere glance, I can differentiate carved marks from the results of... Whew. Hope that cleared things up for you. Hey, is this that new brain exercise game that's been super popular? Anyway, it's getting late. I should escort Miss Dunyarzad to Milu's stage. See you later.
Ясно, опять неправильно.
Square one. But at least we've reached some other Yep, that's true. So, can we think of strange? Paimon feels like everything's been strange. Huh? Leaving the city? You're right. It's really strange how Paimon can't.
На-на.
Did we miss this because we're tunnel visioning? How about we go back and ask Nahida? Maybe we forgot.
Вот она сейчас скажет: не-не, ни хрена. Сейчас вы не сможете покинуть город, я прям уверен. Ну, либо мы уйдем, но нас вернет. Ведь если мы подключились к этой Акаше, то по идее у них есть данные и о внешней, так сказать. Все, что за городом, им тоже известно. То есть, как мы шли, все такое. Это значит что? Правильно. Что в виртуалку они все сюда перенесли. А под утро мы вернемся.
We're mostly sure now that we're not in a time loop. And we also aren't in... Leaving
the city. As far we did, but we don't remember any. Let me think. I don't think you ever actually told me what the outcome was. But you two sometimes stay out the entire night anyway, so it is true that sometimes we lose track of time during our investigations. Really? That's kinda strange. In theory, I should have already awakened all your memories. Yep. Something here is definitely fishy. Let's get...
Блять, опять этот бип. Блядь.
Our memories are back!
В смысле, память вернулась.
About that... Traveler, aside from your memories that were just restored, I haven't listened to it and you'll...
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sабзеруза festival in Sumeru City is just one
Пути
of them.
назад нет, слишком много пространств. Блять. Вроде бы час прошел, но мне сейчас в голове, блять, еще большая каша стала. Пути назад нет. Слишком много пространств. А наш Сабзеруза лишь одно из них. То бишь, мы по сути застряли в одном месте. Но это, так сказать, подпространство на... блять, нет.
Traveler, you should be missing 2 days worth of memories. Paimon...
2 дня назад.
It's time to carry out our plan from yesterday. Okay, let's...
Эх, иллюзии Сабзеруза. Короче, я понял. Пайман как что-то нечеловеческое, на нее эта херня не работает так сильно. Ну, в плане работает, по идее, но что-то не работает.
Why can't we leave the city? What is the
Don't ask me. It's not like I can tell you anything. This is a direct order from the...
I have a real emergency. My goods have already arrived at...
That's your problem. Make sure you make a request in advance now.
But it's not like you can just predict business matters in advance.
Понятно.
It looks like the academia already announced the... Let's go and question... Hello, sir. What help?
Here we go again. Don't ask me. I don't know either. We just received an order that no one is allowed to enter or exit Sumeru today. They didn't tell us anything else. Angering me won't get you anywhere. If I had that...
Наверное.
Looks like he really doesn't know. If we can't get anything out of him, let's take matters into our own hands. This is a good spot, and the guard hasn't noticed us at all. Huh? Why? Are you going to leave Paimon behind? But what if things get... Paimon knows that Paimon can't do much, but we've always been together. Okay. Promise Paimon that you'll come back as soon as... And please... Memories! Traveler!
В смысле?
Paimon would never... Paimon waited for you for hours and hours at the city wall and you never came back! You promised Paimon... Paimon, calm down. He's here now. Paimon doesn't care! Paimon wanted to go look for you, but you also said that Paimon should stay! Paimon was so worried and so scared the entire day! Okay, Paimon, can you tell us?
А мне рассказать? Типа, ладно и трое.
Using two. After that, you left the city. Paimon kept her eyes on you the whole time, but then you disappeared in an instant.
Хрен знает.
No way! What's your perspective, traveler? You sure you don't have any... I guess that explains everything. You also lost your memories the last 2 times. So, if we leave the city, our memories will be completely erased? It really sounds like something big, but this way, we'll also never discover what's outside. Something like a message? But
Действительно.
don't look at me like that. I'm not used to being stared at. Well... Okay. Okay. Yep. Now we're.
Она так и не вернулась, да?
I'm done. Here you go. What? Isn't this just an Akasha? You made some little changes. Akasha terminals are already capable of sending messages. To make something like this? Nahida, you really know the Akasha. Yep. I'll help you save the messages. It should be pretty easy to use. I just can't guarantee the user's status and signal coverage when they're at. We'll never know until we try. At least we're taking. Let's go then. Let's expose the. All right. Paimon isn't as worried about. Okay.
Так.
That covers everything that's happened so far. Yes. Although the signal was choppy and had some interference, we still managed to receive 2 messages. Okay. Now that you understand what's going on.
Все зеленое.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sабзерuz festival in Sumeru City is just one of them. I've entered another space. Before me are flowing sandstone and howling fish. Impossible and surreal sights. All these spaces are empty except for the occasional ones that contain mute puppets rather than people. I can't sense any human presence.
Это есть эти 2 сообщения?
That's one heck of an info dump. It sounds like you left the Sumeru City space when you set foot outside of the walls. But everything looked completely normal when Paimon was looking out from the inside. That's unbelievable. And if we take your word for it, the other spaces all had very weird contents. There's another part here. I only received it last night.
These spaces have been disappearing one after the other, absorbed by something like a sun in the sky. And now, even the final space has also disappeared. Behind me, a lot of spaces just appeared again from thin air. I get it now. Those spaces are actually...
И все.
Why did the message end right there? Probably because yesterday just happened to end at that moment. Oh, right. Paimon did hear a beep from the Akasha. Did it come from here or from the message? It should have come from the Traveler's Akasha terminal. After the beep, Traveler said even the final space has also disappeared. Traveler, what do you think that final space could have been?
Это и было наше. Пространство, в котором мы были вчера, либо реальный мир.
My impression is that each day in this samsara only ends at the sound of that beep from the Akasha. My impression
блин.
is all the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common: a lack of human presence. Was that space actually the real world? But wouldn't a real space...
Так, а теперь либо это, либо это. Ну, давай вот это сначала.
Oh, so that's what it is! After the sound of the beep, the final space, the Sabzeruz festival, also disappears, and we're taken to the next day. Later on, Traveler also mentioned a bunch of new spaces materializing behind them. Paimon's head is spinning. Well, consider this. For all the horrors of the Archon War, at its heart, it was just a game, so no matter how strange or spooky things may look on the surface, maybe all they point to in the end is... Wow! The Archon War, huh?
Знаете, я, кажется, это говорил в прошлой серии, да? Но кажется, мне нужно все-таки начистить рожу мудрецу.
Hey! Where are you going?
Возле знакомой городской скамьи улетели мы в щи. Ой, тяжело. Я, блядь, сюда пришел в игры играть, а не головой думать. У меня уже все, у меня отпала вообще возможность, не то что возможность, а просто, блядь, представление о том, что это может быть. И не симуляция, блядь, и не еще что-то. Что это, блядь?
Do you want some alone time to think?
Пайман в одиночестве, значит, ты идешь к солнцу. Ясно? Не ко мне. Все, что я думал, сейчас пропадет, то что уже вечер.
The dance of Sабзeruzа is about to begin. I'm going to go watch it.
Okay. Why don't you...
Okay then. See you later.
Она сейчас сдохнет прям по пути.
Have you figured it out yet, traveler? Awesome! What is it? Paima wants to know. Oh, wait, no. Let's meet up with Nahida first.
Давай, пока я не забыл, мы все равно идем к Нахиде. Я же говорю, вот, мне кажется, моя цель просто врезать мудрецу. Посильнее, побольнее. Желательно так, чтобы он вообще, сука, не вставал никогда больше. Эх, но, видимо, не в этот раз.
You're back. I've been waiting forever for you two. Are you ready to take your Sабзеруза exam? And okay.
Видимо, да.
Okay, Nahida said the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. We've already experienced the Sabzeruz festival many times, and all the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common. The moon illusion. People in Sumeru don't
Короче, сны без людей нужно трактовать. Тьфу, сопоставить вместе со снами без людей. Да, истина во сне, вот.
We are all in a dream. It isn't that the people
Истина во сне, подать заключение.
People in Sumeru think they don't dream. But the truth is, the Akasha steals their dreams without them knowing it. And those spaces with no human presence are stolen dreams without their host. That would explain why they sounded so weird when he was trying to describe them. Huh. So people in Sumeru do dream after all. In fact, we're correct answer. Now, how did you conclude that the Akasha... The Akasha relies on the power of... It is the manifestation. It compiles the wisdom and it grants knowledge. Oh, okay. Those dream-controlling creatures in the forest.
Сейчас контролирующие сны в лесу тоже получили всего один дракон, верно? А, ну, кстати, если подумать, то да. Грибочки, соседи наши.
Dreams really have... Dreams are fantastical, complex, and full of imagination. People's brains are the most active when they're... In other words, dreams are rich bundles of... So, in other words, the complete opposite of how Hypatia understood it. Paima remembers her saying that the sages think dreams are foolish delusions. And the fact that the real story is that the sages from the academia are using the... Oh? By the sounds of it, you understand the current situation pretty well. So then, what about the samsara?
The beep is a prompt tone for Akasha operations. Those spaces kept disappearing before my eyes. But as soon as that beep sounded, those dreamscapes kept vanishing. But as soon as that... The Grand Sage said, go celebrate the... My mind feels exhausted. We've already experienced the Sабзеруза.
Появление исчезновения снов. А когда? Нет. Тоже нет. Это как? Это серьезно? Масса производств. Если вначале я уже просто так на рандом тыкал, то потом уже понял. Ладно.
Correct. The Akasha is keeping each person's brain in a constant dream state, but also separating their consciousness from their own dream.
Угу.
Their disembodied consciousness is placed inside the collective dream of the Sabzeruz festival along with everyone else's, while their now vacant dreams are harvested by the Akasha. No one is any the wiser as another day passes in the dream, and so begins another samsara cycle.
Короче, мы все это время тупо дрыхнем.
People wake up to yet another dream about the Sabzeruz festival. So, this is like a dream factory, and the Akasha is... Very good, Paimon. Using analogies well is an Okay, so that beep we keep hearing is actually from our real-life Akasha terminals. Alright, last question.
Дендра Архонт. Зубный. Луна, иллюзия, ложь.
They say that alchemical divination is the Dendro Archon's divine
So you noticed. I thought that one would be the hardest question. That's why I put
Это
it
был
last.
самый легкий вопрос, который я знал с самого начала.
That wasn't hard at all. Even Paimon guessed that. Now that you mention it, Nahida, you've been... It's funny. Thinking back to when we were asking all over the place for info about Lesser Lord Kusanov. Yes, those can wait until we're back. And on the other hand, I'd be happy to answer any more questions you have.
Давай. Почему ты просто не сказала? А можно все задать, ладно.
My answer was, it would live. Now that you know this is all a dream, this answer. Have you heard the saying, don't wake a sleepwalker? Likewise, if someone suddenly had told, your notion of reality and dream would be thrown into irreversible confusion. That's why I could only give you very subtle hints and some suggestions.
Понятно.
Firstly, this dream we're in is completely based on reality. People have already experienced this Sabzeruz. Secondly, you're probably wondering why people don't have any. That's because people don't remember their dreams most of the time anyway. And in any case, they're so whenever they wake up in this dream of the Sabzeruz festival, they don't remember anything from their previous. Never mind, Paimon. Traveler had a dream when we were in the Avidia. Yes. Only after receiving the blessing of Dendro can a person gain the Dendro element's dream-enhancing power. That explains the feelings of deja vu. Meanwhile,
Déjà vu.
everyone else has no idea that they are in the Sabzeruz festival samsara, while their dreams are...
А у меня есть сон вообще?
Can humans really keep dreaming forever like this? We might say your mental fatigue has already answered this question. Especially those whose health is compromised to begin with. People's lives are at stake here, and nobody... I know, right? Why did they have to base this dream on my... Even you don't know the reason? The Academia sages are determined to harvest lots of dreams in a short time, no matter the cost. Traveler, do you have any...
А есть тут немножечко.
Okay, Nahida said the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis. The Grand Sage said, go celebrate.
Это оно и есть, суды.
Celebrate the birth of that god. Could it mean? Deceiving the people of Sumeru with no regard for their safety. After we end the Sabzeruz festival samsara, how can the sages of the Academia do this? In the end, I'm just the moon. A sun and a moon?
Ты, блин, скажи прямо, ёлки-палки, но он потом скажешь.
Oh, we're out of time. I'll tell you how to break free of the samsara tomorrow.
Да? А до этого? Ладно. О, 53 урон, зашибись.
Good morning, Nahida. Wait. Now that Paimon Hey! What's wrong, Nahida? You don't look I'm afraid that what you're thinking right now is correct. Did Dunyarzad already disappear? The real Dunyarzad's consciousness has indeed disappeared. It can no longer endure the constant dream harvesting.
Молчать.
I can't believe it. Wait, so what about that other Dunyarzad? She's actually something like a puppet, but not completely. The real Dunyarzad's consciousness could no longer keep playing, so another Dunyarzad appeared to replace her in the dream. Just like the grass and the trees, that Dunyar... But personality-wise, she's... Puppets are stiff, and can't copy a living person's vitality. And you know, speaking of which... The old Dunyarzad truly believed that she met you within her consciousness. And it... Yes. Back then, her family was overly protective of her. I just gave her a little wisdom, so she could look at life in a new way. So that she could be her own person. But even so, she's still... far from it. I'm still a long way off. I couldn't even save her. If I were a competent Archon... Please don't beat yourself up over... I'm not... Don't be like that, Nahida. Even...
Ну да, вспомнить, допустим, вентиля.
To prevent more tragedies like this, we must end the samsara as soon as possible. Great, but... Although the Sабзеруза festival dream is under the Akasha's control, only humans... That means this dream belongs to a host who created it. Huh? So, well, if this is someone's dream, then which means, with the power... Imagination? Imagination means breaking through what you perceive as normal. Like when the server at the tavern brings a plate to you. However, if you're the dream's host and you become aware that you're dreaming, the dream will respond in kind. And the server... But right now, our host is unaware that this is a dream. No matter how many times they're served, find some way to make that person realize that they're dreaming. How are we going to find them, though? If it could be... And even if we did find them, how are we supposed to make them... After all, like you said, don't wake a sleepwalker. It's extremely difficult, yes. But the only ones who can do it are you two. As for me... Out of town? Are you going to that place full of dreams where the travel... Yes. I want to try something. Hurry and go. Dreams are supposed to be fantastical, romantic.
Да.
Paimon's still alive. She was such a good person, with such a simple wish. Yeah. Saving Dunyard, but we mustn't lose hope, traveler. Paimon's wondering, do you think the sages would get one of their own to be the host of this stream? Huh. That's true. But so, who do you think the host of the dream is?
Рыцарь цветов.
Oh, that would make sense. Ferris, the Knight of... Let's go ask him some...
Я бы сказал, что это логично, но для меня это нелогично. Типа, ну мужик, актер, все дела. В костюме бродит. Ну хотя да, и он актер, ему типа вообще насрать. Я рыцарь цветов, я даю детям конфеты.
You're back. You left in a hurry last time. Is
Everything's fine, just...
an experiment? That came out of nowhere.
Could you... make a wish?
You want me to make a wish? Is that a new...
Да-да.
Okay. My wish. Okay.
Oh.
I noticed earlier that she looked a bit down, and she just doesn't seem like herself. I've also wondered if the reason she asked me to be Fairest Knight of Flowers...
So, you have a...
Вот теперь точно
That
знаю, да-да.
obvious? After what I just said, when she placed the hat of the Knight of Flowers onto my head, what she didn't realize was that I'm not that interested in how everyone else feels. In that moment, I just wanted to be her Knight of Flowers for the... Okay, yeah, that was a bit much. Felt like the right... Okay, I'm ready to make my wish. I would like Miss Dunyarzad to appear in front of me right now.
Представь только это, ладно? Не просто скажи.
Please come true.
I'm gonna open my eyes. Oh, you're...
What?
Да ладно.
Fucky? Sorry, but only one portion of Yelda candies per person. Back home you go. Nice try, you two. Anyway...
Guess he isn't the host of this stream after all. Should have expected it wouldn't be this.
А может, эта девчонка и была?
It seems like everyone who knows Dunyarzad loves.
My lady, step back.
That sounds like Dia. Oh right, this is when. Huh? But Dia can handle them. Hey, traveler!
Ура! Мне можно кому-то вломить за это долгое время. Кстати, а что если Дехи это Дэнья? Может она, типа, владелица этого сновидения? Ну, типа, наняли, охраняй госпожу и охраняй. Один черт.
Oh, it's you. Great timing. Please take... Hey, this is my job. The homie Yannis pay me, not you. You... fine, alright, not... Anyway, watch yourself.
А Левоя хоть кого-то может за 3 часа ударить. Ёлки-палки, не думал, что буду скучать по этому.
Right here, right now. Emerge.
Раз. Вот так вот, блядь. Сука, хоть кого-то. Я только сегодня с утра ныл. Как мне надоело, блядь, ходить к Райден в подземку. Сейчас я понял, что лучше ходить к ней в подземку, чем вот это, блядь, сука, все повторять. Я просто сказал, на каком расстоянии она работает.
Traveler, were you just taking your anger out on those guys? You and Nahida both. Didn't you? Oh, and speaking, remember how during the first Sабзеруза festival, before the samsara started, we came here with Dunyarzad. But she said it was because she had forgotten something. Okay, so Paimon's memory is working so far. Anyway, Paimon also remembers that she is staying somewhere around here. Yeah, even if it's only a tiny clue, it'll... This is the place. It's rude to enter other people's... Hey, the windows are unlocked.
И Паймон. Хоть какая-то,
Paimon's gonna
так
take
сказать,
a...
корость. Вот это летающая консерва. Ну, так мне еще и искать не надо, слава
This
богу.
was only a temporary residence, so there was pretty much nothing in... Should we open it?
Так, спустя почти 16 дней я наконец смогу дописать эти заметки, как раз накануне Сабзеруза. Как только фестиваль закончится, вы с Паймон, вероятно, продолжите свое путешествие, поэтому я надеюсь, что успею передать их вам. Это сборник народных легенд о малой властительнице Кусанали, который я составил, расспрашивая жителей Сумеры во время подготовки фестиваля. Я просила уйму людей, но очень немногим известно хоть что-нибудь о малой властительнице Кусанали. Надеюсь, эти истории помогут вам найти малую властительницу Кусанали. Однажды источник воды в Гандхарве загрязнился, и люди были вынуждены ходить за водой очень далеко. Но спустя какое-то время мы обнаружили, что вода в источнике снова стала пригодна для питья. Предыдущей ночью кто-то видел возле источника зеленое свечение. Все верят, что это была малая властительница Кусанали. Звучит вполне убедительно. Очистка воды естественным путем занимает много времени. Неужели малая властительница побывала в Гандхарве? Боже, тут куча всяких историй, которые... Короче, да. Я не буду это сравнивать, а то боюсь, меня еретиком заклеймят. Еще в неигровым, а жизненным.
Even though she was also busy preparing for the Sabzeruz, she must have wanted to give this to us if we hadn't found this book. But now that we know, we can't even think.
Ну чё теперь?
Hey, where are you off to now?
Еще недельку подождать, и тортилка будет. Я, конечно, думаю, мне 50 этих не хватит, но надеюсь, хватит. Будет прикольно, если с первых 10 выпадет тортилка 6 раз. Ну а что, мечтать не вредно. Типа, я же сейчас, блядь, про сон, типа, может я тут еще тортилку S6 представляю, и он такой мне хуяк награды за квест.
Traveler? You must be exhausted.
А есть такое. Подзаебался, да?
We've been stuck in this place for a really long time. Heck, even the last time we were chatting happily with Dinyarzad feels like an eternity ago. Paimon still remembers when we were sitting here, and the way her eyes sparkled when she talked about Milu's dance of...
There will always be frustrations in life, but I know that the point of living is not to leave behind any regrets.
Да-да.
That was what the real Dinyarzad said, wasn't it? Does that mean...
Yes, traveler.
Oh, so she's still just a puppet. But just now, what? Where are we going this time?
Я уже сам не догадываюсь, куда. Стоп. А что если... Короче, два варианта. Либо это Ниву, либо это Дэнья. Ну, по крайней мере, по моим примеркам.
If you continue to resist, we will have to order an investigation into every single event organizer. The Grand Sage has already granted you much leniency. I advise...
How did things turn out like this?
Можно я мудрецу вломлю? Ну, пожалуйста. Ну, пожалуйста, ну разочек всего. Ну, разочек.
Traveler? You don't have to get involved.
Traveler.
Traveler? What the heck are you doing? If you...
Только нихуя нельзя, да?
They're not reacting. Have they been scared stiff? Oh, of course. If this is the sage's plan, they wouldn't put themselves through this. So they're just substitutes.
What is this? What happened to the Grand Sage and his entourage?
Like I said, they symbolize the goddess of flowers.
Yes. The Greater Lord brought forth new Padissaras in memory of the goddess of...
Пуф, пуф.
That beautiful shade of purple. Aren't these flowers real?
But didn't you just say all the real flowers went extinct after the...
Yeah. What's going on here? Huh? You guys are Hey!
Magic.
So Nilu's the host. What a surprise! Purple Padissaras don't exist in the real world anymore. But I mean, it's just like the example Nahida told us. People assume there will be food on a plate, so when you saw the flowers, you instantly knew. But if we want to end the samsara, how should we make
Am I dreaming?
Huh?
So I'm right. Is this Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Wrong guess, but you aren't completely wrong either. The point, as far as you know, people in Sumeru.
Yeah, but have you heard the tale of the first sage? To prevent a calamity.
Ooh, sounds familiar. Dunyarzad told us.
Yep, but in the part you heard, he hadn't become the first sage. His piety and wisdom were acknowledged by the Dendro Archon, and she found all kinds of spectacular scenes appeared in front of the first sage, as if all the knowledge in the world was being painted onto a canvas right before him. He was captivated. After who knows how long, he mastered all the knowledge he could comprehend. Afterward, he said to the Dendro Archon, "I miss my parents, my wife, and my children." The Dendro Archon smiled. The next second, the sage found himself lying in his bed, as if he had just woken up from a dream. His wife, lying next to him, said, "You're off to search for the Dendro Archon today, aren't you?" In the end, the first sage took care of many disasters in Sumeru City.
So, the first sage was dreaming ever since the beginning?
Yes. But his faith and determination were conveyed to the Dendro Archon, so she blessed him.
Paimon understands where you're coming from now. That's a really interesting connection. But we really gotta wake up soon, like the sage in the storm.
I see. Well, it just so happens that today's Sабzeruz festival is almost over.
Я даже не представляю, сколько мы уже тут времени сидим. Сколько это уже... Через 18 минут 3 часа будет. Танец. Нам уже... Кто нам только, блядь, не танцевал, да? Не, Яка нам танцевала, блядь. Теперь и Ниву. Других не помню, но извините.
The wait is over, everyone. I dedicate this to our god, the dance of Sabzeruz.
Жалко пропустить нельзя. Жалко, мотив поменялся.
I'd be lying if I said I had no regrets. I would have loved to see Nilou's dance.
Да ладно.
Traveler. Oh, Paimon feels like she's been asleep. Paimon's head feels super heavy. Did we oversleep?
Я не помню.
Paimon thinks it was at the Sabzeruz Fest. Have we finally escaped from the Sabzeruz Samsara? Quick, take off your Akasha terminal.
Не, бы только туда снова не попасть. То бишь она жива, да? Да не может быть. Жива она.
Well done, Traveler and Paimon. And thank you, Dunyarzad, for organizing this.
I'm sorry, who are...
Dunyarzad!
Oh, Traveler Paimon. I have something. I just had a dream. And I saw Nilu performing...
Аллилуйя. Это не конец? А, ну да, мы же еще не пришли к Нахиде в жизни, так сказать. Блядь, у меня сейчас голова лопнет. Погоди. Мне кажется, как для одного дня слишком много Геншина.
You're actually Nahida, aren't you? Paimon felt like Catherine was acting weird when we met at the end. Dunyard, it's a really long story. We shouldn't disturb her. Her consciousness is still...
Это не Катерина, я понял.
Let's chat somewhere else. How about...
Боже, как я рад, я закончил эту повторяющуюся фигню. Но я все равно до сих пор бегаю по тем же улочкам. По тем же точкам. Боже. Нахида, ну отпусти меня уже. А. Пошли в этот, как его, ну, к тому месту.
Let's talk about Dunyarzad first. After we parted on the last day of the Sabzeruzа festival, I left the city and saw what the traveler had described. Among the countless dreams, I found one that was growing fainter and fainter. Once Dunyarzad could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams, her consciousness began to dissipate. Such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long though, where both will gradually fade until they completely disappear. I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible. But it still would. So it looks like we did manage to save Dunyarzad in the end. Not, huh? Why are you two smiling so happily? I thought you'd be so moved that you'd start crying. Both are fine. Everyone reacts differently. All right. You two must have a lot of other questions for me, right? After all, you saved me. At the Avidia forest, there was this incense that made the traveler fall. You also heard someone's voice, right? It said war. Yeah!
Это ее голос.
We've been wanting to ask you what that... It seems like the traveler established a connection to Irminsul. That was a message left by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul. As you two probably know, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared after the disaster. A message from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata? Wait, King Deshret? That god who died even longer ago? Some present-day desert dwellers still work. Okay, so what does... I still haven't managed to decipher it. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul seems to be content. Many devoted scholars go mad as soon as they connect their consciousness. But I believe this is the key to saving Irminsul. So the tree in the vision was Irminsul? Oh, Tainari also said that, but... Even if you can't figure out what the traveler wasn't affected after coming in contact with that consciousness. No, we must decipher its secrets. I've already eliminated this puzzle has life and death at stake. It could determine Irminsul's fate, as well as Tevat's. To be accurate, I'm using the Akasha as a medium to occupy... How did you do that? Theoretically, I can enter anyone's mind as long as they're wearing their Akasha terminal. The Akasha is the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. As Lesser Lord Kusanali and the first Akasha terminal, my consciousness is... I've always respected my people's free will, so I've never actually occupied their consciousness. When necessary, I just borrow this bionic snizhna...
Да ладно. Чисто 20 секунд на меня удели. Смотрю ТикТок, уже не первый день, да? И показывает, что Катерина похожа на одну из предвестников Фату. Я, честно говоря, я не помню, как они там все выглядят, я только помню Тарталью, я только помню, и эту, как ее, та, у которой в глазах крестики. Белые волосы, такая шубка, все дела, короче, та, которая красивая, ту, которая еще сиськами изображает постоянно. Ту, последнее слово, ту, последнюю фразу не вспоминайте. Короче, и вот, отдал же эту бионическую куклу из Снежной. То есть вы поняли, да? Поняли. А что если вся гильдия приключений это, блядь, только еще один, блядь, этот орган Фату и каких банк? Только в банке люди работают, а для гильдии достаточно всего лишь вот куклы, которая постоянно говорит одни и те же фразы и выдает задания. А?
Hold on. Did we just learn some deep dark secret? So Catherine is... No wonder Paimon felt something was... What about your own body? Why do you need to borrow other people's?
That story begins a long time ago. After Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared, the sages found my newly born self, and at that time, I was young and weak. The sages kept me in the sanctuary of Surasthana, ostensibly for this. However, I do understand that they had hoped to find Greater Lord Rukkhadevata instead of me.
So, the sages basically put their new Archon under house arrest?
In some ways, they aren't wrong. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was omniscient, and I'm still really far away from being able to call myself.
Yeah, you got a lot of believers.
Thank you for the kind words. But I honestly don't think trying to find a way to save Irminsul is my life's mission and top priority. Every once in a while, I will also take up the duties of the God of Wisdom and enlighten a lost soul here and there. There's never been any big problems with the Academia's governance of Sum. I wonder what caused them to go down this path. Even though the city's residents haven't noticed anything strange, if the trap... I tried to do some investigating in the Akasha, but I couldn't find anything I think they're deliberately trying...
Oh, that reminds Paimon. In Gandharvaville, there was this...
Regardless, I need to first investigate the sage's motives, make things right, and punish. You mean how the Akasha stopped?
Yeah, it's been such a long...
It's not that no one noticed. It's more like no one...
Misdirection?
The sages convinced everyone to believe that being unable to dream is a sign of rationality and wisdom, even if the truth is that their dreams are being reaped by the... With their propaganda in place, the sage... Besides, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata must have created the Akasha in the hopes that it could be used to its full... Anyway, the perspective advocated by the sages by now, even those who never use Akasha terminals find it too shameful and embarrassing to talk about their dreams.
Got it. I hope my answers were satisfactory.
To be honest, maintaining Dunyarzad's fading dream to...
Oh, and you don't need to worry too much about the sage's activities for now. Go and get some sleep. What a relief.
Traveler? Paimon? Why am I here? Do either of you know?
Мы знаем, но мы тебе не скажем.
Maybe you were sleepwalking. You know you can't wake up a sleepwalker. We have...
I see. Huh. I should visit my maintenance personnel sometime.
We spent quite some time in Sumeru City, but ever since we last said goodbye to Leslie...
Поговорите с Катериной в Сумеру дальше, опять серьезно? Не, ребят, все. На сегодня с меня хватит. Задание легенд. Все открыл. Мне вот, смотри, Тигнари можно только. А, и Ниву можно. В смысле? А, промежуточный том надо завершить. Это еще. Да. Стоп. Не-не-не. Во-первых, Тигнари открыть. Ниву открыть. Ну а чё, ключи все равно есть. То бишь 3-4, 3-5. И по идее 3-5 это конец, да? Ну ладно. Так, я пока что прекращаю отслеживание, потому что все равно я завтра с утра сначала ежедневку сделаю, пока по боссам погуляю, пока еще погуляю где-нибудь. Чё светится? А чё ты светишься? Что тебе нужно? Начало загрязнения? А, ну все правильно. Вопросы без ответов финек. Финек. Это этот? Как ветеринарий? Короче, да. Все. Что я наделал? Я только что, блядь, игру каким-то макаром смог свернуть. Причем нажимая мышкой. Куда я мог нажать мышкой, чтобы свернуть игру? Типа, мышка сверху влево. Мышу сверху вправо была. А свернуть все снизу справа. И при этом свернулась только игра. Бандикам не свернулся, браузер не свернулся, блять, плеер с музыкой тоже не свернулся. Интересно. Блять, это еще не все? Что еще? Набор в бригаду 30. О, спасибо. Ну что ж, ребятки, на этом все. Всем спасибо за просмотр, всем удачи, всем пока, до новых встреч. А в следующей серии мы пойдем дальше. Ну что ж, всем пока.